So we're up to Kapitel Dalid in Sefer Tehillim. Lamnatseach b'neginois mizmar leDavid. Lamnatseach is one of those enigmatic words. We say Lamnatseach all the time, one of the most famous kapitlach of Tehillim that people say over when somebody is not well. We say it in davening every day. Lamnatseach mizmar leDavid, Yancha Hashem b'yom tzara, Yisagev Hashem Elokei Yaakov. But many people have no clue what the word Lamnatseach means. What's Lamnatseach? So the Mefarshim say that Lamnatseach means that this kapitel was directed to the conductor of the Leviim. The Leviim sang Shira in the Beis HaMikdash, and they sang over the Karban Tamid. When the Kohanim sacrificed the Karban Tamid, every day there was 2 Karbanos Tamidim, 2 carbon oilers were brought every day, every single day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and every member of Klal Yisrael had a chelik, had a portion in that carbon. Everybody gave once a year. They gave shkalim, and they gave coins, and those coins were collected. They were put in the lishka. They were put in a chamber in the Beis HaMikdash, and the Kohanim drew money from that chamber. They drew shkalim from that chamber to buy all of the karbanos tzibur, all of the public karbanos that were brought on behalf of Gans Klal Yisrael were bought with those monies. So every member of Klal Yisrael had a portion in these 2 karbanos. And one of the jobs of the Leviim were to sing Shira at the time that the karbanos tamidim were brought. They went on the duchen, there was a stage, and they sang and they played musical instruments. Lamanatseach bineginois means that this was a direction to the conductor of the instruments. Lamnatseach b'neginois. The neginois are the instruments. So, if you imagine, lahavdol elef alfei avdalos, if you go down to Lincoln Center, and you have the whole orchestra, and you have a conductor conducting all of the instrumentation. So in the Beis HaMikdash, by the Leviim, there was a conductor who conducted and told each one of the people, it wasn't haphazard, it was an orchestra, and there was a conductor telling everybody when to play and what to play. So Lamanatseach b'neginois, this was given to the conductor of the instrumentation. Mizmar leDavid, it was a song of David HaMelech. Now, we have to realize that every single pasuk in Tehillim is a pasuk in Tanakh. It's a pasuk. Tehillim is part of Ksuvim. So it's a pasuk in Tanakh. There is nothing extraneous. There's nothing incidental in Tehillim. Why does David HaMelech, why does the pasuk in Ksuvim have to tell me Lamanatseach b'neginois mizmar leDavid? Why does it matter? Why do I have to know that this was given over to the conductor in the Beis HaMikdash? And I think the answer is that David HaMelech composed this kapitel of Tehillim, and he instructed the conductor in the Beis HaMikdash that this song was to be a song that would be sung in the Beis HaMikdash. Not every kapitel in Tehillim was necessarily sung in the Beis HaMikdash. But this kapitel, David HaMelech composed it intentionally so that it should be sung in the Beis HaMikdash. Now, what does that tell me? I think that tells me that the lessons that we can derive from this kapitel are so critical and so important and so lofty that they had to be sung in the Beis HaMikdash. They're not something that could be just left to chance, that maybe you'll hear them, maybe you'll see them, maybe somebody will hear them. No, these have to be sung in the Beis HaMikdash. That's how critical it is. Sure. Yeah, there are. The Gemara does list. The Gemara does list. Now, this kapitel, I don't know offhand that the Gemara tells us specifically what this kapitel was sung over. But the Gemara does delineate certain kapitelach for certain karbanos. And certain occasions. There are certain kapitelach that was sung on different Yom Tovim. So, Lamanatseach b'neginois mizmar leDavid. Bikari, when I call out, David HaMelech says, Bikari aneni. When I call out, answer me. David HaMelech is asking the Ribbono Shel Olam, when I daven to you, when I call out, answer me. Elokei tzidki, the God, the Hashem of my righteousness. Batzar, when I've been oppressed, when I'm in distress. Herchavtali, you have relieved me, past tense. Batzar, in my distress, herchavtali, you've relieved me. Chaneni, please treat me graciously. Ushema tvilasi, and listen to my tefillah. Very nice pasuk, very poetic. But again, we have to remember, this is not mere poetry. This is David HaMelech with Ruach HaKodesh. This is David HaMelech writing out of Nevuah, out of Ruach HaKodesh, divinely inspired. And again, it's a pasuk that appears in Tanakh. It's not mere song. So we have to look at the pasuk and we have to figure out, what is it that David HaMelech is trying to tell me? So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is, we know that a lot of Kapitel Tehillim were written at a specific time. David HaMelech wrote them when he was involved, when he was living through something. What was this Kapitel written over? And we find on this, we find a machlokes we find disagreement with the commentaries that appear on the page in the Makros Gedolos. We find a disagreement. The Radak tells us that this Kapitel was a continuation of the Kapitel that came before it. And just like the Kapitel that came before it, David HaMelech composed this Kapitel when he was running away from his son Avshalom, when Avshalom was rebelling. That's the opinion of the Radak. The Malbim says no. The Malbim says that it was written over a different tzara. It was written when there was a hunger for 3 years. There was a hunger for 3 years in Eretz Yisrael, and David HaMelech wrote this Kapitel then. Either way, this Kapitel was written at a time of strife. Either it was a time of strife for David HaMelech personally, when he was running away from Avshalom, or it was a time of national strife when the nation was suffering through a hunger. Either way, David HaMelech begins, and David HaMelech says, Bikari, when I call out, Aneni, please answer me. So the Malbim says over here, David HaMelech asked Hashem to answer him, and after he asked Hashem to answer him, he gave 3 reasons why Hashem should answer him. Bekari aneni, when I call out, answer me. Why? Reason number 1, Elokei tzidki. You are the Hashem, you are the God of my righteousness. And that's why you should answer me. Now the question is, what exactly does that mean? Why should he answer me just because, what does it mean, Elokei tzidki, the God of my righteousness? So the Malbim himself says, you know why you should answer me? Because you know that I'm a tzaddik. Elokei tzidki. You know I'm a tzaddik. You know I do mitzvahs. You know I do ma'asim tovim. Therefore, on behalf of that, I'm asking you to answer me. The Radak says something a little bit different. The Radak says over here, Elokei tzidki. The Radak is the one who says that this is when David HaMelech was running away from Avshalom. And we said that there were those who abandoned David HaMelech and said David HaMelech has no hope because he sinned with Bathsheba. David HaMelech said, Elokei tzidki. Elokei. We know that Elokim, the name of Hashem Elokim, connotes judgment. Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei connotes mercy. Elokim connotes judgment. Says David HaMelech, Elokei tzidki. You know that I'm righteous. You know that I didn't sin. Go ahead, judge me. Elokei tzidki. Judge me, and you know that I'm righteous. You know that these people that are saying that I sinned are wrong. So therefore, I'm asking you, Elokei tzidki. Show all these people that I'm righteous. Don't listen to what they're saying and abandon me. But kari aneni, Elokei tzidki. Now, I find in this an important lesson. And I'll tell you what that is. A person has to be confident. And when I say that a person has to be confident, we know that right away in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch, right, we have the Oz Kanomer, you have to be Gibar Kari, you have to be strong like a lion. Oz Kanomer. You have to have the Azus, you have to be brazen like a leopard. What does that mean, you have to be brazen? What it means is, we say, a person has to be willing to do the Ratzon Hashem. A person has to be willing to do what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants, despite what other people say. People tell him, what are you doing that for? Come on, don't be such a frummy. Well, you're going to start this not talking in shul business with me? Come on, everybody talks a little bit. Don't make such a big deal. Oh, you're running to do mitzvahs. You're running to do this. Come on, live life a little bit. Take it easy. We have to be oz kanamer. We have to have the brazenness of a leopard, lasois ritzayin kainai, to do the will of your Creator. Another aspect of oz kanamer is a person has to be confident in looking at himself not through the eyes of the world, but through the perspective of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I could tell you what I mean on different levels. So I'll tell you one, which is just a light story that presents the idea. I remember when I was a child, I'm thinking that I'm going to say that I was 14. I think I'm right. I think I was approximately 14 years old. And I had Bein Hazmanim. I was off. I had vacation from yeshiva during the summer. And I had a friend of mine from elementary school who was still going to the same bungalow colony that we used to go to when I was younger. And he invited me for a Shabbos. So I came, old time's sake. I went to this place for a Shabbos. And on Shabbos afternoon, we went for a walk. There was a lake nearby. So we left the bungalow colony. We walked over to the lake. And then we spent a half hour by the lake. Then we turned around to come back. And on the way, there was an abandoned house, an old abandoned, falling down house on the side of the road. And some of the kids that we were with decided it would be a fun idea to go into the house and explore. Old abandoned house, no trespassing signs or anything. An old abandoned house. What? Right, boy things. Let's go take a look at this abandoned house. I said, you're not allowed to. Why not? There's no trespassing signs. So the Gemara says you're not allowed to go into a churva. Gemara in Brachas, the Gemara says you don't go into a ruin. You don't go into the ruin of a house. Why? Because it's dangerous. That's why you don't go into the ruin of a house. You have an old abandoned house. I'm talking about one of these abandoned houses where the windows are gone and the roof is half caved in. You go into an abandoned house. Do you know if the floor is rotten? You step on the floor. Do you know you're not going to fall through? That also. But pshuta kamashma, you don't go into a churva because it's dangerous. So I said, I'm not going. Oh, come on. Yeah, spoil sport, chicken, this, that. I said, do what you want. You want to go. I said, I'm not going because Chazal say that you don't do it. Chazal say you don't do it, I'm not doing it. All right. They went in. I started heading back. And I said to myself, you know what? What happens if something does happen to them? No one's going to know where they are. I waited around a little bit. Yeah, they're inside, they're laughing, this, that.
How many?
5, 6 kids. I went back to the bungalow colony. About an hour and a half later, I realized they're not back yet. So I'm wondering, where are they? 2 hours, they're not back yet. Finally, I went over to one of the fathers and I said, look, these guys went for a walk. This is where they went. It's already 2 hours, they're not back. He took another father, went down to the house. Sure enough, they went up to the second floor. Sure enough, one of them fell through the floor and broke his leg on the second floor. And they were trying to figure out how to get him home. The guy's laying there with a broken leg. How do you get him home? All right, they did whatever they had to do. I don't remember any more of all the details, but they got him home. And Baruch Hashem, they got him to a hospital, and they set his leg. Now that's on a simple level. That's on a simple level. Heavy oz kanomer. Over there, I'm not talking about doing a mitzvah. I'm not talking about putting on tefillin when everybody's making fun of you. I'm not talking about not talking in shul. I'm talking about in life. To be willing to have a different perspective than the people around you, because your perspective comes from the Torah Kedosha. When you live life with a perspective from the Torah Kedosha, very often you're going to find yourself in disagreement with the people around you. And you have to be willing to do that. You also have to be willing to have the self-confidence. Sometimes, I'll give you another example. Another simple example. Somebody says, oh, hi, I haven't seen you in years. So, what are you up to? Oh, yeah, I'm in yeshiva, I'm Spanish, I'm learning. What do you do for a living? No, I'm learning. What do you do for a living? What do you do for parnasa? My wife works, I do this, do that, odd jobs, parnasa. But what do you do, and how do you make it? And don't you? Face it, the vast majority of the world judges you by your earning capacity. They judge you by the size of your paycheck, right? So suddenly a person finds himself where his whole self-worth is based on the paycheck. But your self-worth is not based on the paycheck. The proof is that sooner or later you retire. Sooner or later, life is over. You move on to the next world. Nobody's looking at your paycheck. When you come up to Shemayim, the Gemara tells us what they're going to ask you. One of the questions is not, so no, how much did you earn? They don't ask you that. They don't say what tax bracket. Oh, we have to sort you. What tax bracket were you in? Oh, you're in that tax bracket? You go there. No. They didn't sit by their earning potential. They sat by what they did. So the blacksmiths sat together, the tanners sat together. You know why? Because they understood each other. They sat them in a way where people were sitting, where they were comfortable. That's where they were sitting. That's where they sat with. If they're going to talk shop, by Kiddush, they're going to have who to talk to. That's a shul that the Gemara talks about in Alexandria, Mitzrayim, how they sorted the people by their trades. But it's huge. It's tremendous. Yeah. But so you have to be willing to have a different perspective, but you have to have confidence. David HaMelech had the confidence to say, Elokei Tzidki, Doeg Adoimi, Achi Teufel, Shaul HaMelech, Shimi ben Gera. These were the Gedolei Adar. The Gedolim are turning around and they're saying, David HaMelech did enough error with Bathsheba. He's finished. David HaMelech said, no. Bekari aneni Elokei Tzidki. I know what I did, and I know what I did and why I did it and what I was thinking, and I know the tshuva that I did, and I know the conversation that I had, we'll see with Nasan HaNavi. I know who I am. Elokei Tzidki. I am not afraid. I'm not afraid because I know that the Rebbeinu Shalom is Elokei Tzidki, and I have confidence and I'm right. A person has to have confidence. Now, there's such a thing as misplaced confidence. There's such a thing as gaiva and bravado, and sometimes you could go over the edge. But it's important for a person to be able to turn around when a person knows that he's doing something that's right. And there are other people that are turning around and making a big deal out of it and saying, no. You can't just fold like a cheap suit and say, I got to follow public opinion. No. You don't got to follow public opinion. You got to follow what's right. That's what you have to do. So I think that's one lesson that we see over here by Elokei Tzidki. Also, the Metzudas David says over here, and this really flows into the next piece, right? He said it on both. Elokei Tzidki, the Malbim says, was the first reason that Hashem should answer him. The second reason is Batzar herchavtali. When I was oppressed, when I was in distress, in the past tense, you relieved me. What does that mean? What does that tell us? So over here, we have Rashi and we have Metzudas David. I think are both pushing the same point. Rashi says, Batzar herchavtali, bayamim sha'avru, in the days that have passed, bayamim sha'avru alai, in the time that's passed, you always saved me. Umeata, and therefore now, chaneni, be gracious to me, ushmat filasi. Listen to me. The Metzudas David says it even clearly. The Metzudas David says, Ata Elokai, you are my God, ha'oise imadi tzedakah, who always did charity and righteousness with me. Haloi me olam kishahayisi batzar. My entire life, forever, whenever I was in distress, ubedoichik, and under oppression, hemaditani b'merchav, you always stood me up and established me b'merchav, with broad relief. Lachein, therefore, gam ata chaneni. So be gracious to me now also. And I think this goes back to something that we said last week. We said last week from the Shari Tshuva. We said over that the Shari Tshuva says it's important to always thank Hashem for all the good that He does for you. And the more you thank Hashem and the more you acknowledge to Hashem the good that He did for you in the past, He'll continue to do it in the future. But I want to point out something even further. Last week, past Shabbos, we learned the parsha of the Meraglim. Now, I've pointed out before an amazing thing that the Meraglim said, not the Meraglim, that Klal Yisrael said after the Meraglim came and gave their bad report. We don't find it in Parsha Shlach. We find it in Parshas Devarim. The Meraglim came, and the Meraglim said, we're not going to be able to go into Eretz Yisrael. It's too well fortified, the people are too strong, can't do it. We're not going to be able to go into Eretz Yisrael. Now, right away, we have a huge question, right? How is it that Klal Yisrael, who saw Kriyas Yamsuf, who ate mun, who saw Matan Torah, who saw 10 Makkos in Mitzrayim, right? They saw everything that they saw, and now at the last minute, on the cusp of going into Eretz Yisrael, they say, no, this we can't do. Everything else the Rebbeinu Shalom could do. But to take us into Eretz Yisrael, that the Rebbeinu Shalom can't do. How do you make that mistake? Not only how do you make that mistake, how do you justify, how do you explain to yourself, the Rebbeinu Shalom did all of this for me, right? He did all of this for me, and now He's going to let me die in the Midbar. Now He's going to get me killed when I wage war against the Malchi Canaan and I try to go into Eretz Yisrael. How do you explain that? You can't listen to the Meraglim and say, oy vey, we can't go into Eretz Yisrael, we should turn around and go back to Mitzrayim, without answering that question, unless you're a fool. You have to have some kind of answer to that question. In Parshas Dvarim, we find their answer. What does it say in Parshas Dvarim? It says, Vaterognu ba'alechem, and you, Vaterognu, how would you tie Vaterognu? You spoke Lashon Hara, and you got all agitated in your tents, Vatoimeru, and you said, what did you say? Besinas Hashem Hoysanu, because Hashem hates us, Hoytziyonu me'eretz Mitzrayim, He took us out of Eretz Mitzrayim. Out of His hatred, He took us out of Eretz Mitzrayim. Why? Losei Seisanu b'yad ha'emoiri l'hashmideinu. To give us over to the Emoiri in Eretz Yisrael, so they should kill us. Oh. Why did the Rebbeinu Shalom make Dam Svardei, Kinam Arav Devish Chin? Why did the Rebbeinu Shalom make Kriyas Yamsuf? Why did the Rebbeinu Shalom keep us alive until now? Why did he give us man? Why did he give us slav? Why is there a Amud Anan, a pillar of cloud? Why is there an Amud Eish? Why did all of this happen? Because Hashem hates us. And he's going to bring us to Eretz Yisrael to have us wiped out by the Amori. That's why. Wow. That's creative. That's creative. That's creative. Congratulations. That's. I wouldn't have thought of that. But what is the explanation? The explanation is that I'm afraid many of us, and myself included, do this all the time. And I'll show you what I mean. What do I mean we do this all the time? Chas v'chalila, we have a tzara. Doesn't have to be a big tzara. It could be, so to speak, a relatively minor tzara. We're struggling with parnasa, struggling to pay the bills. Right? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you know what? Something happens. You make it through. A check comes that you didn't expect. Somebody made a mistake. A bill gets canceled. Somewhere an opportunity comes up and you do a little job on the side and money comes in. You make it. A month later, struggling. Hey, what's going to be? I don't know what's going to be. You make it. Again. How'd you make it this time? This time something else happened. This time somebody gave you a gift. This time, you filed your taxes in January. So you got a tax refund in March. And March you lived off the tax refund. Then it came a few months later and you got a refund from the insurance because you overpaid. Then it comes a couple of months later and you got a bonus. Then comes a couple of months later and you had a side job that brought you in money. Then comes a couple of months later. You always make it. Something always happens that you make it. So why, when the next time it happens, why do you get all aggravated and all upset and all concerned? Why don't you say, I got nothing to worry about. You know what? I've been at this for 20 years. The Rebbeinu Shalom comes through all the time. I got nothing to worry about. Yeah, but what's he going to do? I don't know. I have no idea. I said over here once before, I said, my Rebbe, Reuven Feinstein Shlita, always says, he says, the mun. You ever wonder, why did the Rebbeinu Shalom feed us with mun? Why mun? And think about it. Why was it called mun? The pasuk says, you know why it was called mun? Because Klal Yisrael said manhu. What is it? They didn't know what it was. So why did the Rebbeinu Shalom have to feed us with something that we had no idea what it was? Why did the Rebbeinu Shalom give us pastrami sandwiches? Right? Give us omelets for breakfast, give us tuna fish sandwiches for lunch, and give us pastrami sandwiches for supper. And the Rebbeinu Shalom could have even made it better. If you don't like pastrami, so when you go outside, you'll find turkey. What's the problem? But give us food. Give us food. Why do you have to give us mun? So it's one of those questions that you don't even think of. I'll bet you, if you stop 50 people, try it out, try me out on Shabbos, ask this question to 50 people, and I'll bet you, you'll be lucky if you find one who ever thought of the question. Why? Okay. But I'm saying you could do that with food too. Give me MREs. Give me a food package and fine. Give me the 2 slices of bread and I can have a mind. It should taste like turkey. It should taste like pastrami. It tastes like tuna fish. But give me food. Okay. Here's a better answer. The Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to show us. Don't limit the Rebbeinu Shalom. Don't limit the Rebbeinu Shalom. If you go back to my story about Parnasa, right? Guy struggling with Parnasa. He says, yeah, I make it every month. But I know why I made it last month. Last month I made it because I get a bonus every year in July. And in April I made it because that's when I get my tax refund. And in that month I made it because Uncle Harry always sends me money before Yom Tov. And in that month I made it because it's the off season and the electric bill is low. And that month, so every month I made it, and I know why I made it. But this month I don't know how I'm going to make it. This month there's no bonus, there's no refund, there's no check, there's no nothing. So this month, how am I going to make it? The answer is you'll make it from a way that you can't even imagine. You'll make it in a way that you would never dream of. You'll make it in a way that in 1,000... I must have said over this story. A guy a fellow in yeshiva, in the kollel, this man is learning his whole life. His whole life. He has to be married 40 years. He's learning his whole life. Kadai Hari is a beautiful family. He's made chasanas, everything else. He made 1 year 3 chasanas. So he told me that when he had to make the third chasana, his wife asked him, how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? Where's the money going to come from? So he looked at his wife and he said, I have no idea. The only thing I can tell you is, I can tell you where the money's not coming from. So his wife says, what do you mean? He says, I know where it's not coming from. The last 2 chasanas, my father gave us money for the chasanas. And my father's out of money. So I know he's not giving us money for this chasana. So I can tell you where it's not coming from. I can't tell you where it is coming from. Now, this man's father is an elderly Yid. He's been retired for many, many, many years. He gave away tremendous Baal Chesed. He gave away all his money. So he says, my father's done. And my father already let me know. He told me, for this chasana, I'm not going to be able to give you. So he told his wife, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I know it's not coming from my father. You know what happened a half an hour later?
Won the lottery.
His father called up. And his father said, Yisrael, I know I told you I'm not going to be able to give you money for this chasana. And the truth is, when I told it to you, I wasn't going to give you any money for the chasana because I didn't have any. He says, the craziest thing just happened. He says, what? He says, 25 years ago, I lent somebody $25,000 to start a business. He needed $25,000 to start a business. I lent him the $25,000. He took the money. He started a business, and he lost his shirt. Every year before Yom Kippur, for the last 25 years, he calls me up, and he cries. He says, I feel terrible. I owe you this money 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I owe you this money. I've never forgotten it. It sits on my head. I want to pay you. I just don't have the money. I just don't have it. And for 25 years, I've been telling him, don't worry about it. And I told him, just forget about it. I'll be moichel it. And he says, no, I don't want you to be moichel it. One day I'm going to pay it. One day I'm going to have money. One day I'm going to pay it. He says he just called me up and he told me that Baruch Hashem, he was successful with something and he has $25,000 and he wants to pay me. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, I have the money. I want to pay you. And I'd like to make a l'chaim with you. You know, when I pay you, Baruch Hashem, after all these years, I was able to pay you. He says, he brought me the money. I have $25,000 for the chasana. So he said, the one place that I said for sure it's not going to come from, that's where it came from. The Ribbono Shel Olam gave us a mun, because the Ribbono Shel Olam said, don't say, it's in the midbar, he can't give us wheat, there are no cows, there's no fish, there's no birds, there's no this, there's no that. I can help you with whatever you need, whenever you need it, no matter where you are, no matter what's going on. Because I'll do it in a way, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, but now I'm beyond help. Now I'm beyond help. There's no way I can be helped now. No, you can be helped now also. You can be helped now too. I can do anything. I can do anything at any time. I fed you in the midbar. I didn't feed you with food. I didn't feed you with something that you could imagine. I didn't feed you with something you could think of. I fed you with none. So don't limit me. I can do anything. So, Batzar Hirchavtali. David HaMelech says to the Ribbono Shel Olam, you have always saved me. And because you've always saved me, I'm confident. You saved me then, you'll save me now. Bakari Aneni, like the Metzudas David, his words, the Metzudas David's words, he says, L'chein gam ata chaneni. You always saved me, so you'll save me now. But is that what we say? Or do we chas v'shalom fall into the trap of the Meraglim? And we say, you're not going to save me now. I'm afraid that now you're not going to save me. Why are you afraid that now I'm not going to save you? If I saved you the last 50 times, I always saved you. So why are you afraid now that I'm not going to save you? The only answer the Meraglim were able to come up with, is, even when you saved me, you weren't really saving me. When you saved me, you did it for the ulterior. It's like the cat playing with the mouse. You were playing with me. You didn't want to kill me in Mitzrayim. So instead of killing me in Mitzrayim, maybe you were afraid, maybe Moshe Rabbeinu was right. Maybe you didn't want the Mitzrayim to say, oh, Hashem couldn't do it. So you showed the Mitzrayim that I could take them out of Mitzrayim, and now the Mitzrayim are back there. Now I'll kill you over here. But whatever it is, you hate me. You hate me. I hate you. I made 10 makas. I split the yam. I gave you money. I hate you. But it's the only way to answer for the fear. This is fear talking. They're going to go into Israel. They see giants. They see everything else. So they're afraid. They're afraid, and they can't get past the fear. So instead, they say something crazy. But it's the same thing that we do. We have a problem, and the fear of the problem, and the pressure, we lose ourselves. And instead of saying that the Rebbe Hashem helped me until now, we say, yeah, he helped me until now, but that doesn't mean he's going to help me now. So why did he help you until now? I don't know. There is such a thing. A person could say, I used up my schuyas. That's what the Maharsha was saying. Yaakov Avinu was afraid. He was afraid. Why was he afraid? He was afraid, maybe I used up my schuyas. Halavai that we should have schuyas to use up. I mean, I think if you're Yaakov Avinu, maybe you say that. But for us, halavai we should have schuyas to use up. So we see that the Rebbe Hashem took care of us. The Rebbe Hashem took care of us. The Rebbe Hashem took care of us. So I'll take care of you weiter. David HaMelech says, have confidence that the Rebbe Hashem, you're entitled. You see, that's something that we have to see from here also. We have to learn from David HaMelech that we can have confidence. See, I think I took that from somewhere else also. Found it. Sorry, just one second. It was a Pasuk Daled. Yeah, a Pasuk Daled. We'll see. Yeah, David HaMelech tells us you're entitled to have confidence. Like this, a person says, who am I to have confidence? You have to have confidence. It's part of what the Torah Kedosha wants, that you should have confidence. A person has to know that if he follows the Torah Kedosha, if he listens to the Ratzon HaBorei, and he does what the Rebbe Hashem wants him to do, he's entitled to have confidence. He's entitled to have confidence. So again, Bakari Aneni, the first reason was Alikei Tzitki, the second one was Batzar Chaftali. The last one is Chaneni. Be gracious to me, Ushma Tfilasi, and listen to my tefillah. The Malbim over here says, Chaneni, says the Malbim, Chaneni, this is, we're asking Hashem for a matnas chinam. We're asking Hashem for a freebie. Batzar chaftali, and then Chaneni ushma tfilasi mitzad chaninu matnas chinam. We have to know the Rebbe Hashem gives a matnas chinam. The Rebbe Hashem sometimes gives us something that we don't deserve. V'chanoisi es asher achain. I will be gracious to the one that I want to be gracious to. So we ask Hashem, Hashem, kel rachum v'chanun. When we say Hashem, rachum is merciful, v'chanun and gracious, what we're asking Hashem is, do it for me for nothing. Taka don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve your grace. I don't deserve you to answer me. But I'm asking you anyway to do it as a matnas chinam. Now, why are we entitled to that? Why could we ask Hashem for a matnas chinam? Why isn't it a chutzpah for us to ask Hashem for a matnas chinam? And I think the answer is banim atem lamakim. We're the Rebbeinu Shalom's children. If you recognize that, if you acknowledge and you recognize the relationship that you have with the Rebbeinu Shalom, then you could go to the Rebbeinu Shalom and you could ask the Rebbeinu Shalom for a matnas chinam. A kid goes to a father and asks a father for something. And he doesn't tell the father, come on, I cut the lawn. He says, Daddy, can I have? My kids come to me and they don't hesitate. Daddy, I need a 20. Daddy, you have any cash? Maybe. Why do you ask? Funny you should ask. Oh, because I need cash. Do I look like an ATM? And one of my kids, I said, do I look like an ATM? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm supposed to answer to that one, But a kid asks a father for a matnas chinam. A kid gets older, kids come to parents, and sometimes they say, Daddy, we want to buy a house. Can you help us out? What? You're going to go to the neighbor down the block and say, I want to buy a house. Can you help us out? No. But a parent, you'll ask. Why? Because it's not a matnas chinam. It's not a matnas chinam. You're giving it to me because you're my parent. That's why you're giving it to me. A parent gives. That's what a parent does. So David HaMelech tells us, after all the reasons are done, after Elikei Tzidki and Batzar Chaftali, there's also Chaneni. Just give me grace. Just give me a matnas chinam. Ushma tfilasi, and listen to my tefillah. Now, I can't overstate the importance of this lesson. Because sometimes a person will not daven. Sometimes a person will not turn to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Sometimes the Yetzer Hara will convince a person not to turn to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Because the Yetzer Hara will say, you're going to go daven? What? Now you're going to go to shul? After all the times that you blew off shul and all the times that you came late and all the times you were sitting in the back and schmoozing your way through davening, maybe after all the Lashon Hara that you talked, after all of this that you did, after all of that, now you're going to come and you're going to ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to help you. You can't ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to help you. You can't ask. So if the guy can't ask the Rebbeinu Shalom to help him, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Right? He's going to collapse. That's an Atzas HaYetzer. That's the Yetzer Hara talking. David HaMelech is very careful to tell me, no. When all else fails, go to the Rebbeinu Shalom and ask the Rebbeinu Shalom for a matnas chinam. But the catch is, you have to be willing to say David HaMelech's hakdama. You have to say his preface. David HaMelech's preface is, Bekari aneni. When I call out to you, listen to me. Acknowledge that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the one who can help you. Just in the schus of the fact that you acknowledge that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the one that can help you, in that schus alone, the Rebbeinu Shalom may help you. Like this, a guy is suffering, he has a health crisis, and he's going to the doctor, and he relies on the doctor, and the doctor writes a script and gives him a prescription, and he relies on the prescription, and then the doctor says he needed treatment, and he relies on the treatment, and then the doctor tells him you need a stronger treatment. Then the doctor tells him you need a surgery, and he relies on the surgeon. Then the doctor tells him you need rehab, and he relies on the rehab. Chas v'chalila, lo aleinu, no one should ever experience it. When the doctor says there's no hope, doctor says there's no hope, what does he do then? Now he has nothing to rely on. Sometimes only then does he rely on the Rebbeinu Shalom, because he has nothing else to rely on. And now he's at the end. He's at the end of the street. There's nothing left. But it shouldn't come to that. Don't rely on the doctor in the first place. You got to go to the doctor, because it says the The Rebbeinu Shalom made the world in a natural way, and he gave permission to go to a doctor, and you're supposed to do the natural, you're supposed to do the way of the world, so you're supposed to go to the doctor. And if the doctor tells you to take a pill, you take the pill. So the doctor tells you, but you always remember, it's not the doctor and it's not the pill. I'm going to Rebbeinu Shalom Rifa'einu Hashem V'nei Rafei. You're going to the Rebbeinu Shalom and you're relying on the Rebbeinu Shalom. And you're not relying on anything else. And the only one that could cure me is the Rebbeinu Shalom. And the only one that could give me my parnasa is the Rebbeinu Shalom. And the only one who could get me out of a jam is the Rebbeinu Shalom. And if somebody did something that looks like it's going to hurt me, he can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. Somebody can only hurt me if the Rebbeinu Shalom is arranging it. And if the Rebbeinu Shalom gives him permission to. So it's not him, it's the Rebbeinu Shalom. The guy's going to help you, that person can't help you. Nobody could help you. Unless the Rebbeinu Shalom arranges that he should help you. So everything is from Barei Olam. Nothing, just in the schar alone of acknowledging that it's from Barei Olam, in that schar alone the Rebbeinu Shalom will give you a matana. He'll give you a matnas chinam. Even if you don't have schusim, you don't have anything else. But that's the biggest schus in a way. Just the acknowledgement that I know that everything comes from you and you're the Kol Yachol, you're the one that has all the power. So here we had David HaMelech's Bakasha. David HaMelech asked, Bakari Aneni, Hashem, answer me when I call. He gave 3 reasons why. Elikei Tzidki, you know I'm a tzaddik. A person has to be confident in his tzidkus. He has to know that if he's a tzaddik, he's entitled to have confidence. If I know that I'm a tzaddik in the eyes of the Rebbeinu Shalom, then I'm entitled to say, Elikei Tzidki. Batzar hirchavtali. You always helped me out in the past, and you have to have confidence. The Rebbeinu Shalom helped you in the past, the Rebbeinu Shalom will help you in the future. Don't always come back and fall apart with stress and everything else. What's going to be, what's going to be, what's going to be. The Rebbeinu Shalom helped you until now, the Rebbeinu Shalom will help you weiter. Chaneni u'shmat filasi. Sometimes the Rebbeinu Shalom gives us a matnas chinam, and just in the schus alone that we acknowledge that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the Kol Yachol, who could do everything, just in that schus alone, the Rebbeinu Shalom could give us a matnas chinam, and we'll, Mir Hashem, continue Kapitel Daled next week.